You know, there's one Sayyid that came to his Rebbe. He was one of the wealthy Chassidim, and he was always there to contribute for everything that Rebbe needed. He said, Rebbe, I hear that every Thursday night, the Leonovi comes to learn with you. No. No. So he says to his Rebbe, can I also meet Leonovi? So his Rebbe tells him, not a problem. I'll tell you what to do. It's at Rosh Hashanah. He told him there's a shtetl where you should go, and over there he gave him an address. And he says, you go to that shtetl. He gave him the name of the shtetl and the address. You go there for Rosh Hashanah, and you meet the Leonovi. The Yid was so happy. He doesn't know where he's going. So he makes sure that they pack up a good sudas yomtiv and stuff. He doesn't know where he's going. He gets to a town. There's hardly any Yidden there. He gets to a home. It's dilapidated, and he hears there's a mother and there's children. The children are crying and they're saying, "Mother, we're hungry." And she says, what can I do? I have no food for you, Kinalach. And his heart breaks. This is the address. This is where he's going to meet Leonovi. So he knocks on the door. And the woman comes to the door. He said, what can I do for you? He said, can I come in? Can I stay here for Rosh Hashanah? She said, Rosh Hashanah? How can I let you stay in my house for Rosh Hashanah? I have nothing to feed my own children. So he says, don't worry. I have with me a wagon full of good stuff.
Wow.
So if you let me just stay by you, I'll call two vadoinov beyodoi. I'll bring everything into the house. So the woman says to herself, why not? So she says, come. So he has a servant schlep all his packages in, and the kids are jumping, and the kids are ripping it apart. Finally, they haven't had such a good meal in their whole life. And the kids are excited. The whole Rosh Hashanah, they're jumping around, and they have full bellies. And he's there, Rosh Hashanah, kam sada minyan in shtot, and the whole Rosh Hashanah, he didn't bump into Leonovi. After Yom Tov, he packs up, he goes back to his Rebbe. He said, the Rebbe, I wasn't zoicha to see him. So the Rebbe says, you know what? Go there for Yom Kippur. Okay? So again, he knows, this time he knows already that he should pack up, because if he wants to fasten sich before and after the fast, this lady doesn't have anything to serve. So he brought with him plenty, and he comes to the house and he knocks on the door, and he hears the kids running around, and then he hears the kids running to the mother. It's a Leonovi! He understood. He understood. He understood what his Rebbe told him. If you want to meet a Leonovi, he met himself. He was the Leonovi. There is an unbelievable sicha, a fundamental sicha that every Lubavitcher Chassid should learn, which is that Rebbe talks about the first shliach. Who was the first shliach? And this sicha was said in honor of the Kinus shluchim, the Shluchim Convention, in 1992, Tavshinum Beis. And the Rebbe declared at that special sicha that we finished already our job. We just now the time to prepare the world to greet Mashiach Tzidkeinu. So first, let's Azoy. The lumdus part here is like this. The Rebbe asked a simple question. There's a long, most of the pashas, the story about Eliezer. Eliezer Eved Avram. He is sent by Avram Avinu to find a shidduch for his son Yitzchak. And Torah tells us how he makes him make a shvua, and he goes asora gemalim. He makes this special sim, and he says, the girl that I'll ask her to drink, she'll give me to drink. She'll say, also for your camels. This is the fine girl. This is the right girl. He meets her, meets love, and meets psul. He tells over the whole story again. finally, that the whole story, the whole parsha is about the shidduch of Yitzchak and Rivka. So the Rebbe asked a simple question. What was the din of Eliezer? Was he a shadchan or a shliach? Was he a shadchan? There's a shadchan. You ever heard of a shadchan? Yeah? So usually there's not such a gewaldige kind of, there's not such a good rap to shadchanim. And there's even a mime from the Alter Rebbe, why shadchanim have to go in a crooked way. But, well, okay, but be it as it may, a shadchan is not, we say shluchim shalodim kamoisoi. No one ever said shadchan shalodim kamoisoi. No one's going to say that. The best shadchan, no one's going to say shadchan shalodim kamoisoi. There is you, and there's a shadchan. If you get along with your shadchan, and you paid them nice for the shidduch, and you said thank you, and that's good.
I don't know the law, but you can send a nokri to do such a thing.
Oh, that's a good question. Oh, so 1 second, let's get to the other side. The other side of this, maybe Eliezer was not a shadchan. He was a shliach. He was a shliach. And you can ask several questions. First of all, could a goy be a shliach? Second of all, can a eved be a shliach? The thing is that a chereshoyt of a kotna eved cannot be a shliach. So there is interesting that there's a discussion about this, because some Midrashim it sounds like he was a shliach. And first, the Pashto Pshat is could before Matan Torah maybe the din was different. The Eved could be a shliach. There is a sefer Mincha Belula that says from the same the name of some of the Rishonim that could be Avram freed him as a slave. He was Meshacher as Eved. Whoever was here this morning, we learned about being Meshacher Eved.
Mm-hmm.
And
what kind of mitzvah was there b'chlal that you have a shliach to?
What do you mean? To do the kiddushin, the din is that an eved cannot be a shliach.
That's before Matan Torah. There was no such thing as kiddushin. It was just a...
Oh, so that's the first answer. No, that's what we said. That the eved, that before Matan Torah, there was a totally different thing of Torah's kiddushin, like the Rambam says. There was a whole totally different thing. So maybe before Matan Torah was different. The eved was mutter. That's the Pashto Pshat. That's what the first stated. It was a different type of kiddushin.
No, not even entering into the issue of mutter v'asr. There was just no mitzvah involved. Period.
All the others were.
It doesn't matter a mitzvah or not. Could a eved buy from me 13 widgets? Could he be my shliach to buy me 13 danishes on Avenue J? Is the chaloisa kinyan or not a chaloisa kinyan? That you're answering. He asked the question. He asked, could Eliezer, who is an eved, become a shliach to do anything? So I'm saying the first answer is that before Matan Torah, I'm not saying, I'm repeating from the sicha, that before Matan Torah that an eved could do it. There are mefarshim that answered that he freed him, that he wasn't an eved. And the third teretz is a lomdisha teretz from the Sefer HaMakna, that he says that eved can't be a shliach, someone else's eved, but my eved, if he's my eved knani, is yad eved yad rabbi, and he could be my shliach. So that answers that question. And the question about the shliach has to be a Jew, again, it's before Matan Torah. And also he was an eved that was his hand was like it. So that, back to our question. The question is, was he a shadchan to make a shidduch, or was he a shliach? And if he was a shliach, we know that there is a lomdish discussion on what level of shlichus there might be. If a shliach is just that whatever he does, it bounces back to the Mishaleach, or even more that the koyach of the shliach doing it is as if the Mishaleach did it, or that mamish the shliach becomes as kamoise of the Mishaleach. And which one of these three levels would Eliezer be? So let's look at the Medrashim, because really it seems to be Medrash's chalukas here. Look at page... Let's start at page 980. So this is at the end of the story. At the end of the story. So it says... Vayishalchos Rivka choisem es miniktov es eved Avram v'sanosha. Vayvarchos Rivka, and they gave a bracha to Rivka. So let's look at Ois Reish Tes Reish Yud and Reish Yud Aleph. Vayvarchos Rivka. So this is from Maseches Kala Rabos. By the way, this is for unbelievable sefer. Oh, Torah Shleimer, Ibn Nachem Mendel Kasher. was a genius, an absolute genius. He was originally a Gerech Chossid. It was a Goan Notzim.
What kind of sefer is it?
He took all the Torah Shabbal Peh and he put it on put it pasuk by pasuk on the Torah Shabbal. Now, obviously, the Talmud, but every medrash that exists. Look on this page. Medrash Hagodla Liyo Rabbe Lekach Toiv Breishis Rabbe Meseches Kala Rabbosi Pirkei de Rebbe Eliezer. From the moon, from Mars, from every medrash. And he brings it all together, and in the bottom he has footnotes, and the footnotes are very valuable. So look in Ois Reish Tes, which is it's a Masechta, and one of the Masechtas in the Shas, Masechtas Kala. It says the Braise says Menayim lebichas chasonim min hatoyra. How do we know min hatoyra that you're supposed to do a bracha? Under the chuppah you do a bracha. Shenemai ve'vorchus Rivka. It says that they gave a bracha to Rivka. The Gemara says, Midi because Baruch was there a kois? It doesn't say there was a kois shel bracha, and we do it with a kois. It's like the Gemara la asmachta. Who that this is only an asmachta that the really Chazal said to do it, and they said, oh, you see in this pasuk we see that they gave a bracha. Next medrash, which is Pirkei de Rebbe Eliezer. It says, "Vayvorchos Rivka." So the Pirkei de Rebbe Eliezer says, "Kechazan shu oimed umavorech esakalo b'chupasa," like a chazan that stands and gives a bracha to the kala by the chuppah. Kach omdu berches Rivka. That's how they stood there on the chuppah, and they gave a bracha to Rivka. She'enem vayvorchos Rivka vayemrula. And then there's another medrash. Chasein atayei la'alfi Ravava. Reb Levi bereb Chanina, Choma bereb Chanina, Nemal Nifka Derivka Shespala Yitzchak Shleom Mitzayim Loimer Mitzvaseno Yilo. That they said Atayei Alfi Ravava. They didn't. So therefore, she didn't have any babies, and Dafka after she davened, so the goyim will know that it was not the blessing that she got from her brother. And her mother that gave her the children. So, what do you see right away from these three medrashim? One medrash, it sounds like they were standing mamash at the chuppah. They were standing at the chuppah. The chuppah was taking place in Aram Naraim. It wasn't happening in Israel. Yitzchak was not by his chuppah. Yitzchak was never at his chuppah. There were Choshev people there, but Yitzchak was never present at his chuppah. Yitzchak was not there. Another medrash says that's a smachta, but the kemakala, but it sounds like there was maybe something happening there. And then there's another medrash that no, it was just that they gave her a bracha and she should have children, but it wasn't a chuppah. Look in the footnotes. Reish Tes. It quotes in the Gemara Ksubis that was Zayin over the base. Now, Labichas Chasanim. Schneider, it's on page 980. 980.
Only one page.
There's one page, and one side is 980. And look at the bottom, it's footnote Reish Tes. The Gemara Ksubis says that was Zayin over the base. Now, Labichas Chasanim Basara. How do we know that there's Bichas Chasanim and you need 10 people? Shenemar, as it says in the Pasuk, Vayikach Chasora Anoshim, that Rus took 10 people. And he said to the Ploini Almoini, come here, and we're going to do, and he decided to marry Rus. So we see that you need 10 people for the chuppah. The Tosfos Sham, what does the Tosfos say? Tosfos asks the question, why do we need a pasuk from Rus, which is a pasuk in the Ksuvim? Why can't you use a pasuk in the Torah? It says Vayvorchos Rivka. And from here we learn that you need to have Bichas Chasanim. Why does the Gemara? That way you need 10. That's what it says.
So is that the din?
Yeah, that's the din. Yeah, the Chasan is Minaminyan, but you need 10. So Ikala Meimar, the Hosam Bichas Eirusin. I mean, if you didn't have, the Chiddushin is Chal. But Chazal want you to have that. That the Chazal made this.
Wasn't it that his father was Mr.
We spoke about a story in the summer, exactly. He had Mesiris Nefesh Mamish to get a 10th man. So there's a special takonas chazal. There should be 10 people there. So Tosfos asks, why is the Gemara learning it from Boaz when you can learn it from the story of Rivka? Ikalamema, Tosfos answers, the Hossam birchas Eidesen, the Hocha birchas Nesuyin. That's what Tosfos answers. And we need to have two limudim. One is for the Eidesen and one is from the Nesuyin. In the days of the Talmud, there were two separate ceremonies. One is the Kiddushin, that the Chassan gave the Kala the Kiddushin. And 1 year later, she moved into his house, and that was called the chuppah. Well, the yichud, that was called, and that was called the nesuyin, when they became one. So there were separate brachas. There used to be a bracha for the Eidus and a bracha nesuyin. Today, it's birchas Eidus and unesuyin, because it's one ceremony. That's why we give a ring. A Chassidus is Tikunei Zoyar, and there's a ring, and also a Pinigla, that she always remembers that she's married. This way, everyone knows she's a married woman. She knows she's a married woman, but the Chassidus is makif and surrounding and shalom bayis. But the Rebbe has a beautiful word, a Pinigla, because those days they used to give money, because the money for that year, the din is that whatever nechosim she has, the husband benefits. Could do business with whatever it is. Nothing goes idle. The husband invests the money that she has. If they get divorced, he has to give her back whatever she brought in, whatever is a daigel yamul. But the thing is that those days, if he gave her kesef kedushin for that year, the money wasn't his. Once she get married, if she hadn't spent that money, so then that would come into nichse malug. But bisman hazeh, when the kedushin deidison happens within 30 seconds, it's happening one after the other. So if you give her money, you have to give her something that belongs for her and never belongs anything to you. But right away it bounces back to you, because right away you can invest this money and have the paytas. So therefore you give her tabas kiddushin, which there's nothing in the world you could do with tabas. Where you're going to invest this? It's on her finger. How are you going to invest it?
Pawn it.
And there's a braisa that says a keli, you have to start using it right away. That's why he doesn't put it in her hand. He puts it on her finger. It's not stop. It's cute. Well, I mean, put it in her hand. But you put it right on the finger.
It has to be
Why this finger?
Why
This finger?
don't know. That's a good child. That's a pinigla. That's why it became that the Yidden started giving. Versteht sich a pikabola. There's a thing about shalom bayis and makiv and ava and love. But also pinigla, that's why, because it's a year in between, so you can give her $1, you can give her $100. But now, if you gave her $1, that you didn't give her anything; it becomes yours immediately. So therefore, you give her a ring and you put it on her. This is something you can't invest. It becomes mamash hers, and it's one of her tachshita. So the Tosfos answers that there's two different brachas. There's at the ceremony of the Eidusin, and a year later, but the Nesuyin. One we learn from Rivka, and one we learn from Rus. So v'yesh lilmad misham shesh lavarach bechas eres and lisa miskadesh the shliach. So it says in Menachem ben Bokasha, you see that you make bechas eres and also when a woman gets married through a shliach, Chayei Eliezer shliach hoya, because according to this Tosfos, Eliezer was a shliach, it was mekadesh. Benir das macht the balmuh das sar lemishtama mahasam v'layayid pshat the krab bechas eres. This is all. I'm sorry. This is all the Tosfos. Tosfos says that in the Pash, the pshat in the pasuk here. It doesn't say that there was 10 people. But it says that in our gis and it says clearly that it's a smachta. All the Mefarshim ask, where do we see here that there was 10 people? It says, how do we know there were 10 people with Eliezer? Because he took 10 camels, and every camel had one person schlepping the camel. So why did he take 10 camels? To have 10 people. Why did he take 10 people? Because he's going to be Mekadesher. He doesn't know he's going to have to schlep a minion from here and there. So he figured he's going to take 10 camels and 10 people. And that's
interesting. You can actually Mekadesh without being there.
Yeah. Yitzchak wasn't there.
He didn't take slave with him, he took Jews.
I don't know what he took, but he took 10
people.
10 people. V'lo Yud shekiddush b'fneim u'mavikach boyes asar anoshim the Torah muku ve'elas etzel ovetz ma'odam l'noyach u'menoyach l'shem u've'eva misham ve'eva l'Avram at shepirsam u'Moshe Rabbeinu.
Doesn't he have to see her? Doesn't he have to see her?
Usually we say
he is supposed to.
You're supposed to. You're supposed to, but here it sounds like Eliezer did the kiddushin. He gave her not only that. He gave her the ring. Turn the page to page 961. It says in the beginning of the story at the well, he took a nose ring. Beka mishkoloi. So it's also the union of a ring. Today we give a ring on the finger, but then it was a nose ring. Okay. Beka mishkoloi. B'shnei tzmidim al yodeh asaras of mishkolam. So the Chazal say, look in the bottom, and Medrash Hagodol says, Nezem Zov, Lo Manosan Lo. L'Kiddushin, a ring. Why did he give her a ring? A nose ring is strange. Why a good Jewish girl to have a nose ring? But okay, but it was a ring. It was a ring in those days.
Better than a tattoo.
Better than a tattoo. Yochel, Nasan Huh?
No, I think Rabbi Yochanan is right. Today we would look at it as...
yeah, but that was Makubal.
Yeah.
Yochel, Nasan Lo, Koidim Shiadam, Basmihi, Amalom Mesheloisa, V'Omar Basmiyat, V'eten Anezen Alapa, Dover Alomed Misefer, Shemetchil Shabach Kechnosan. Okay, the Medrash Hagodol holds not like Rashi. He holds that he really asked her first her name. He didn't stop give it to her first. Okay. But the bottom line is the Medrash Hagodol says that Loma Notzan Lo L'Kiddushin, that this was Mamash Kesef Kiddushin. And interesting that this minhag, turns out that this minhag that we have to give a ring, that the Chosin gives the Kala a ring, that the first Kiddushin that we had in the Torah was with a Nezem Zohov, which a Nezem Zav is a ring. It's essentially a ring. It's not a finger ring, it's a nose ring, but it's a ring. Next Medrash is, it says, it's a Kneged Shnei Luchas, Kneged Seres Adibris, Bereshis Rabba, and the next Medrash is a Medrash Agoda, says, Nezem Zav, Hu Oya Kiddushin. Again, the same thing, it was Kiddushin. Shnei Tzimidim Ayader, Shemasayim V'chamishim. The value was 250 money. Masayim, Keneged Ksubas Besula, because she was a Psula. It says Psula Ishla Yada, that she was a Psula, because that time the Medrash says in Aramyim they were people that were so mushchas that even a girl that was 3 years old, that Rachmana Litzlan, that the fathers would make that the daughter shouldn't be a Besula. But she was a tzaddikus, and therefore she was a besula. Mamela, she gets a ksuba of masayim. V'chamishim teisefes ksuba. Davaracher beka mishkola can I get beka legulgolos. But from these two medrashim we see, the Medrash Agodol and the Medrash Agoda, clearly that this was kesef kiddushin. That she got that this was for kiddushin. Look in the Ahodas.
How it can be Kiddush? We just made her ask her your name and give her already Kiddush.
Yeah, I said, make a quick shidduch, no wasting time.
You know already. This was from Avraham Avinu's family.
Does it say anywhere where Avram and Sarah had any Kiddushin? Like,
no, this is the big wedding. The big one is this. So, bottom line, we see from here that there are two medrashim clearly, and throughout the story we find, for example, I didn't make a copy of it, but on Asof medrashim it says when Avram says make a shvu, sidna yod chatachas yirechi, Medrash Hagodol says mekan omru echad mekadesh es ishte me'atzme ve'echad mekadesh yedei shliach harei mukadesh sheshluchet shlodim kamoisa b'chol makom. Clearly, it says that he was a shliach.
But the only funny part it was Avraham Avinu, not Yitzchak.
Right.
There was another part that Yitzchak was not even involved in.
Yitzchak was not even involved. Sounds almost like the Mittler Rebbe. His mother said when there was a time, when there was a question about the shidduch, the Rebbe's in Shena, so she said, "You're willing? You're interested in the shidduch?" So he said, "Sure." So she said, "It sounds like you're impatient." You right away said, "Sure, you don't want to meet the Kala." He said, "What do I have to meet? I want to have the shidduch already. My father will start saying chassidus." Because as soon as they make the shidduch, the Alter Rebbe is going to start saying chassidus in the Maimonim. So Yitzchak wasn't involved. He was just waiting for Avraham Avinu to start saying the chassidus. Avraham Avinu will work out the details. Okay. Bottom line.
Same story with that.
Whatever made his collar was different.
No, I'm saying it, but he wasn't doubting it for a second.
Okay,
The kid
that's
said,
different.
one
That's different.
like this, I can't change that.
Yeah, exactly. That was different. They met. Chulu. So, to summarize, Shaila, what was Eliezer? Was Eliezer a shliach? And he was mekadesh. He was actually did the chuppah. Ish mekadesh the shliach. Like it says many medrashim, and the way Tosfos says it. Tosfos says that by Rus we learn the din of the Birchas Nesuyin, and from Rivka Birchas Erusin, and that's it. And there's many medrashim that support that. And Tosfos brings it in Ksubas Tav Zayin that Eliezer was a shliach to be mekadesh, or was he just a shadchan? Which other medrashim it sounds like that. Dafke, when she met Yitzchak then married her. So that sounds like this Medrash's Chalukas. And in Pshat, the Rebbe says that there's two ways it could go. On the one hand, it sounds like Eliezer was a shadchan. First thing is, we see that he tried to get Avram that Avram should agree that his daughter should marry Yitzchak.
Right.
That sounds already like a shadchan.
Right.
Adreika.
Right.
That he has his own agenda. He has his own agenda over here. Doesn't sound like a shliach. A shliach is he has his own agenda. A shliach is shlodem. Kamoisei, a person, a shliach that's meshana even a little bit. The tikkun shidar teirat chavlei la'afsi. A shliach is totally devoted to what the meshaleach tells him to do. This guy has stories to tell. He wants his own daughter. On the other hand, we say that it was Kam Beisei, Amoshe B'chol Shaloi, his Moshel B'Teiris Rabbi, Toilo Mashkel B'Teiris Rabbi Chedim, his Eved Avram Anoichi. He was not just your garden variety slave here. Eliezer was a tzaddik. Doilo Mashke. So it stands to reason that he wasn't just a shadchan. That really he was a shliach. He wasn't a shadchan, he was a shliach. And if that's the case, we can understand, it says, when he traveled, that he said, Kol tuv adoinav vayikach asora megmala adoinav, v'chol tuv adoinav biyadav. Everything. And Rashi says from Chazal, that he had daitiki, he had a contract saying that he owns everything. Everything is in his hand. He owns everything.
But where is the question that he was maybe a shadchan? In the first place, the whole idea is that it was not a shidduch. Avraham Avinu knew that they have two daughters, and one of the daughters that's the marriage. So it was not like he's good for shidduch.
You could say, okay, good. He's going to arrange it, but not that he was a shliach and that the money he gave her. Some of the Roshim, it sounds like it was a gift.
So my question is, it
was a gift. He gave her a gift. And when they came to Yitzchak made a chuppah, and he did the Edison and the Nesuyin himself. And this function was only as a shadchan. But there are medrashim that it sounds like it wasn't just a shadchan.
It doesn't make sense, because by the time she came, automatically the light in the oil were already lit up. So...
Right. In the psukim, it sounds a little bit... By the time she came, she was already married to Yitzchak. Okay. So that's what the Rebbe says. The Rebbe says there's a lot of reasons to say that it was not a shadchan, he was a shliach. And that would make sense that the Avraham Avinu gave him everything. The Rashi says that he gave him everything because he wanted that when a family is going to see, because everyone knew Avraham was a wealthy man, and a family will see that he has a star in his hand saying that he's giving a gift, and everything he's giving to Yitzchak, they're quickly going to say, okay, well, we want our daughter to marry. Right. Oh, he's such a rich man, let our daughter go right away. So, okay. The Shai Levet Azoy. So why do you give it to Eliezer? If you stam a shadchan, you don't give a shadchan all your wealth. Elamai, Eliezer really was not a shadchan, he was a shliach. And Be'emes is, the Rebbe says that there's a klotz kasha. There's a famous thing Chazal say, a person could be generous, is never allowed to give everything he has. It's considered a big sin. If a person wants to be generous and give tzedakah, he gives mikol asher loy. Chazal say v'loy kol asher loy. A person is not allowed to give everything he has in charity, and then he himself has nothing to live on.
Maybe he didn't
So,
give everything.
It says kol asher loy.
Kol asher loy.
Yeah. So he gave to Eliezer kol asher loy, everything. Kol tuvadonav. The Gemara says he gave him everything. So the shaila is, how could he do such a thing? How is he allowed to do such a thing? How can Avraham Avinu give? So you could say, how did he live later? Maybe Yitzchak supported his father once his father had nothing. So Yitzchak supported his father.
If he was just a shliach, it makes no difference. He gave it to him, he gave it back. He was just giving it to him to use it.
Right, but depends what he gave him. Many Rashi says he gave him a shtar matona, that he gave everything away to Yitzchak for his wedding.
But he gave him everything.
Everything.
Before that, we learned that he gave away all the bonim and whatever he had before. He gave them away to shluchim. Gave them away so the children are not going to come and ask for more. So he finished with them, and then the rest of it, whatever he got, he gave to Yitzchak. And from there on...
Oh, right. That's why it says Rashi Shem Tumah Mosalem, because he gave everything away to Yitzchak. The only thing he had to give them was Shem Tumah.
Right, but what happens after... I don't remember the details, but I don't think Avram is mentioned too many times after he gave away all the money to Yitzchak. Very little, as much as now. It's like transferring... You'll see the Torah just transfers everything to Yitzchak, and now the whole story starts from Yitzchak and on.
Yeah, now he's the Gevir.
Yeah,
he's the Gevir again.
Is just a...
So why would Avram do such a thing? Give everything away.
Isn't an exception that may have to do with this. Isn't an exception that a person can give everything God nafsho?
What does it? Tanya says that if a person chas v'sholem is sick, you can't say, listen, you can go to a doctor, but you can't give more than a chaimish of your nechasim. Once you spend 20% in your chasim, you just die at home. Rachmana litzlan. Once you spend 20% of your wealth, again, you walk out of the hospital, you go home and you die in your bed. Rachmana litzlan. Kol asher li'ish yitem bad nafshay. The Alter Rebbe says, loy gor in the fuetz hanefesh and the fuetz haguf. So if a person's neshama is ailing and he has to give tzedakah, so he can give more than 20%. So Avraham Avinu gave away his kol hashaloi. Why did he give away his kol hashaloi? Because this wedding was not stam a wedding between Yitzchak and Rivka. Very important. Yitzchak is his only son, but it's not stam a wedding. This is after the bris milah. This is the first wedding that's going to be the foundation of Klal Yisrael. Avraham Avinu wanted to show that this is kol asher loy. His whole everything. He didn't leave a nickel in his pocket. He didn't leave anything. It's like the Rebbe once told that at Fabrengen, there was a famous Fabrengen, there was 100 shnas. I'm listening out to the stories of shnas akan, but I remember learning the Fabrengen. But the Rebbe then told the story. My Zed used to love telling the story. The Motzah Shabbos was the Motzah Shabbos that the Baal Shem Tov once told his Talmidim that they should put their hands in their pockets and they should make a collection, and then they'll buy candles and mashke, and then they'll have malava malka. So everyone put their hands in their pockets, and it was after Shabbos, who has money in their pockets, and there was a coin in everyone's pocket, and a Talmud went, collected, bought candles and mashke, and they had malava malka. So the Chassidim used to say that what's the bigger miracle? The fact that the Baal Shem Tov made there should be coins in everyone's pocket, we know the Baal Shem's kazachim. But that the Talmidim, why did the Talmidim put their hands? What did they thought? Maybe they forgot the Shabbos. Maybe they put today. They have money in their pocket.
And the Baal Shem Tov,
they had such a munah. So then the Rebbe told the story that the Baal Shem Tov, something that used to happen by night, that he couldn't fall asleep. Ever happens that you can't fall asleep?
Every night.
Every night? So now you'll know the secret.
Okay.
Hear what happened. So if the Hashem Tov couldn't fall asleep, he used to ask his wife to help him. They used to search the entire house, and if he found any money, he knew that's why he can't sleep. He would take that money, and he would run out, find the oni, and give the money to the oni. He'd come back home, and then he can fall asleep. He couldn't fall asleep if there was any money in the house.
Before you go to sleep.
Huh?
The
in the morning.
Chaim itself is also.
Oh, I had such a thing. Yeah, there's all kind of stories about
So
Chaim,
how
right?
did he have vegetables and fruit and something to eat? The Chassidim used to bring him.
Yeah. He couldn't sleep if there was any money in the house at night. He couldn't fall asleep. Baal Shem Tov, yeah. Couldn't fall asleep. You hear that? He couldn't fall asleep because there was money.
Now you know. Now you got your answer.
So,
Was his wife?
the Rebbe said, huh?
I think
Was his
that
wife able to sleep
Apparently-
after he gave the money?
we cannot fall asleep because we owe money. Because he
Yeah.
has money. Works.
So the Rebbe then said that everyone should empty their pockets. The Rebbe himself went and he emptied his pockets. Whatever money was in his pockets. The Rebbe made then a special keren, printing this from the Alter Rebbe. Upon him, back to Avraham Avinu, that Avraham Avinu emptied his pockets. Kol HaShaloi, he wanted to show that this marriage is not stam a marriage. This marriage, his whole neshama is in this marriage. To make this marriage happen, Avraham Avinu wanted to show what this marriage meant to him. And also spiritually, he wanted to show that this is his whole everything. And that's why also it stands to reason al pi Ruchni is that Eliezer was not stam a shadchan that was doing wheeling and dealing. That Eliezer devoted himself, he made a shvua al Yerech Avram, that he's going to be loyal and he's going to be his shliach. And that's the way the first Jewish couple gets married. L'kutei Torah, the Alter Rebbe finishes. And the last mimer, which it does, it's all about the Simchas Torah. And the last mimer, then there's another two maimorim that are like Mizmor Shechanukas, but the last mimer, Simchas Torah, the last ois is all about Yitzchak and Rivka. And that there's four ways to spell Hashem's name, Absag, Ma, and Ban, and there's Ma and Ban, and then there's the giver and the receiver. Ma is the giver, receiver is Ban, there's the Neshama and there's the Guf, the Yichud of Ma, Ban, that the Yid has to connect the Neshama and the Guf, and the Neshama should elevate the Guf. The Yid has to, just like the Chos and the Kala gets married, just like Yitzchak and Rivka, and the connection of Yitzchak and Rivka was Yichud Ma, Ban, and that's why the Eliezer, the whole story of Eliezer is told with great details. Chazal say, Yofes Echoshen Al Avdi Yofes Tirsem Terosen Shalbonim. It's strange, like to tell so much. He says, no, because this was the start of the yichud, that the Jews had the power to connect Ma'uban. It started with the bris of Avraham Avinu, and that allowed that Avraham Avinu should have a pure child like Yitzchak. Bris, like we spoke about this last week, Bris Milah was the first time that something physical became spiritual. And then Yitzchak was born, and Yitzchak and Rivka getting married was the beginning of the Jewish people, which are the job of the Yidden is to make Yichud Ma'uban, Shimshe Vesira, the sun and the moon, that the godly light should penetrate into this world. The godly light that's in this world is in the way of Ban, it's hidden. And then there is the higher level, which is Ma, the Yud Kevav Hashem's name, which is revealed. And the Yidden make Yichud Ma'uban. And Eliezer's job was to jumpstart the Jewish nation, which have this mission to make Yichud Ma'uban. And that's the whole Maimah, the last Maimah L'kutei Torah. What does it have to do with the last Maimah L'kutei Torah? With the Simchas Torah? Why isn't it published in this week's Parsha, Chayei Sarah? The Rebbe says, because you see that the first Maimah L'kutei Torah is also about shlichus. That every Yid is a shliach from the Eibishter. And the mitzvahs is the Eibishter's shluchim. So the first Maimah L'kutei Torah says to a Jew, when you start your job in Avodas Hashem, you should know you're Hashem's shliach in this world. Every Jew is Hashem's shliach in this world. And at the end of L'kutei Torah, the Alter Rebbe wraps up the whole thing again, telling a Jew, you should know that just like Yitzchak and Rivka, their marriage and their getting together was Yichud Ma'uban, to bring Hashem's name, Yudke Vavke, and reveal it into this world, to bring holiness into this world. So every Jew, that's your job, Yichud Ma'uban, and that's why every Yid is a shliach from the Eibishter. And that's the whole takeaway from this week's parsha, that Eliezer is not just a shadchan, a wheeler dealer. The same thing for every one of us. We have to take a lesson from this because every one of us is a Eibishter shliach. The Rebbe said that my father-in-law made an announcement that every single Yid in this generation is his shliach. So every one of us is a shliach. The Rebbe said that if you take the word shliach and you add 10, it's gematria Moshiach. So every Yid is Hashem shliach, and a Yid is to take all his 10 koiches and nefesh and put his whole neshama into Avodas Hashem in order to make a yichud ma'alban, in order to make a gilu elkus in this world, and that is the tachlis of every single Jew. And we're all, the mitzvah Hashem, we're all going to do this job. And we're all going to do this job, and Mitzvah Hashem will be zeicha to have Bias Mashiach Tzidkenu.
So Eliezer was the first Chabadnik.
The first shliach. Eliezer was